And this was Vision Sports versus. I think it's actually Team Vision. Team Vision versus Frost Tail. All right, uploading that now to work with. We're now going to get one game at a time. We're going to have a clean feed. Everything will be a little bit smooth sailing. Thank you again to Hannah. Appreciate you sitting in and sorting this all out. So we got access, we got a little bit of the ducks, and we got all of that Sakura quick as well. So thank you very much, Hannah. Greatly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your night off. And yeah, let's lock in for North America. Let me grab a drink and everything else I need. And we can get ready to root for everything. Thank you, Hannah. I'll see you all in a couple of minutes. All of NA coming up still as well. 3 more games to go. Plenty of Overwatch action if you want to see it. All right. Yeah, I need a drink. Need a drink. Need a beer. Be right back. I'm back. All right, we were today. Predictions are up. Beautiful. predictions are. Swap over to North America. Dhillducks versus Shikigami. All to play for. Hopefully, find people enjoy a little cookie. Yeah, roster's still locked, so we couldn't sign anyone. Really can't. This is my third cookie, but it's been a long day, Atlas. I've earned it, I reckon. In my humble opinion, I've justified these cookies to myself. Oh yeah, versus Amplify. Sorry, yeah, versus Amplify. Ooh, okay, thanks. No idea. I'll take a gander. Lidl for the cookies, the bakery section. The best part of Lidl. Oh. The little brownies, yeah, they're my fiance's favorite brownies. Hold on, let me just let me crank the volume. Let me lock in for this. It'll be a bit quieter as well, out of respect for the time of day it is. My fiance's going to London tomorrow, so she's up early for the train. Alright. Crack a cold one. Yeah. We'll get into the game, but yeah, there's down near me where I go shopping, it's like walking, like 20-minute walk. Lidl and Aldi right next to each other. And there's a Greg's and is it Starbucks? I think a Starbucks there as well. Nice little sensor in them. Oh, Winter's going to get the immediate kill onto Redex. Winter and Phone here. Two of the stars that we saw for Amplify in OWCS Stage 1. Gap's going to be playing the Orisa, more of the Ram from Baz. Definitely prefers this Ram, does Baz. Baz is good. Such a quality name, Baz is actually. Baz is going to take 1 billion damage. Actually has to form to live in all of this. This is going to slow down Dhillducks' ability to force point. But actually that pick from PTK might open it right again. They don't give a touch in time though as Baz re-swings. So Amplify, player down, main source of healing down. They will get bled out. But they at least get a bit of capture progress. Even another trade. Winter's going to slide in looking for another one. PTK nails that shot. I think I'm saying nails too much. Nail. What's another... Looking for synonyms for nails for shot. Hits for shot. Lands for shot. Anyone got a Thesaurus on them? Retake now for Amplify. Slammer jams. That's not in the Thesaurus. Dunks. Okay. We're working with stuff. Frothy Philly with a Kitsune rush advantage, but a bit of a HP problem has to slow it down. Basil get the touch against Phone. All of Amplify coming this way, so it'll just be an all-out brawl on point, trying to force the objective immediately here. Amplify. Baz has taken so much damage, and Winter's on this big old off angle by herself. Finds the kill, and this has pulled him in two different directions. And look at all the space for Winter. Frothy Philly eventually responds, but the damage is done. 2 kills. Point will be flipped. Amplify with a good retake. Solo Sojourn flank. It's a gamble, but they take all the attention. PTK gets a late exit kill. Get that Pharah spam away as they try this retake, so they can get a move on. They're actually walking before PTK is back. PTK's only just spawned now, so both teams with players coming back to the point as it's a TP and flip over. Dhillducks trying to capitalize on that. Only 4 players here as Gap comes to respond. The flip goes the way of Dhillducks. Kitsune rush and overclock used. PTK sliding on the outside. Terror Surge on the point, though. Deletes the backline there. And now with that backline gone, no hitting for Baz. It's all over. Terror Surge sweeps that one. Quick flip back for Amplify. Double DPS up for their next hold. Redex doesn't have the beat just in time to respond to either of these either. So it might be a bit of a scary walkout for Amplify here. Oh, sorry, scary walkout for Dhillducks. A chance for Amplify to hold close using support ult. We're going to try and clear the right-hand side Mega. Slow onto the Sojourn. Walk up coming through. Doesn't quite block the Javelin, but has the shield. Still poking out this Orisa, but here's the barrage form. Comes out, gets around the corner, pops the Annihilation, dies anyway. Baz tried to live. They've traded a couple of kills. They're at tank disadvantage here. Redix has dropped the beat, but only for himself. Disaster for Dhillducks. Rush of blood to the head. Thought they could clutch. They actually steal the flip thanks to that beat, but Amplify are going to get right back on and flip it the other way. Pulse Bomb misses from Razor. Winter will turn the kill. They're still trying to stall out point. They haven't given the flip. Winter actually pops the overclock. Felt like they had this fight in the bag. Oh, Baz actually found the Baby Diva trade onto the overclock in Sojourn. They'll clear up this killie. On Frothy Philly. Not intentional, but I'll take it. One more attempt for Dhillducks on this retake. They nearly have a Kitsune rush, but Amplify. They're going to pick up Winter from spawn. They have this beat. This Terror Surge ready to go. Ult advantage. Ult advantage for Amplify. That beat is really going to cost Dhillducks in the long run. It costs them in the short run as well. Razor going to try and come through left-hand side. They have to consider the touch. Oh, they can't touch now. It's going to be someone else. It's a beat push into spawn. Trying to hunt down this Lucio. All separated as Red X trying to live. Can't live versus Bone. They need to go for the touch. Ewan is marking the touch. They try and come through. D-Mech onto Baz. They're not going to get close to this. Amplify will take the first round comfortably in the end. A chance to finish a cookie quickly.
Score 1-0. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Okay. TP out. Hazard this time from Gap. Slightly different look. It's going to be Pharah Sojourn from both sets of DPS too. Baz has taken a whole load of damage early on. Has to TP some of that. Razor's going to lean over towards point. Resets on the low ground. Trying to find an angle all the way back to the Mega. Quite passive here. Now tries to push onto the Kiri. One rocket forces the TP out. Crazy Cat has to be careful. Now turns their attention to the Hazard. Amplify going to regroup on point. Winter a bit separated at the choke, but I don't know if Dhillducks can really punish this with their comp. Instead, they're going to turn their attention towards point. This allows Winter to re-swing. Matched by PDK. Winter still having to play it cautiously. Bit of support from Ewan and all of that. But the boop off the map. Here comes Red X. Opening boop, now player advantage. They are all over Gap. So much damage there. They win the slow fight on point. Really, if it becomes just a slow, brawly fight on point, both tanks meeting head to head, the Ram's always going to do better than the Hazard in that situation. So Amplify, the onus is on them to make the moves a little bit more. Get their Hazard onto some of these key targets. But now they have control of a point. Baz can anchor these chokes. Their Pharah and Sojourn can play these wide angles. And Gap is going to be forced to try and close the distance. Bone will move over towards point, gets an angle on Baz to try and spam him out too. Baz forced back, half HP, trying to play it slow. Kitsune Rush is nearly up for both. Suzu has to be giving it onto Gap early just to keep him alive. Still swinging, Kitsune Rush around the choke. Philly will match it. Both being traded, boop off, so Cat has to TP. No cooldowns for a second. Suzu now available again. PTK can't find the shot and all of that as they flood over bridge. It's Frothy Philly who actually dies first. They've got both supports out of all of that. PTK has the overclock, no support. Doesn't feel the clutch. Probably a wise choice. Razor did feel the clutch, however. Dwayne actually went for a barrage, found nothing with it. And starting to look more comfortable for Amplify now. Frothy Philly is going to swap onto the Ana here. So a bit more vulnerable, but all of a sudden the chance to punish this Hazard. The sleep lands with the Pharah Sojourn damage, a real chance to convert these kills. Going to be a big ult fight as they try and cross the bridge. PDK starts with the overclock. Defensive aid has to be used. Beat as well. Ewan's going to match for beat. Overclocks and beats both the mirrored Gap. Gets the kill onto Baz. See you later. PDK can't find any late trades with that. And Amplify happy to just stabilize that for choke. Take that even trade of ultimates. And they'll take the lead now on this control point. Kitsune rush for the next fight. Obviously, Frothy Philly swap, so not close to that nano. Going to be a tough one. They have the Annihilation, but into a barrage, into a Kitsune rush. Very limited options here for Baz to actually find something without getting punished. You see Phone looking for that now. Right above Baz. Concussive Implosion pulls them in. They've lost Winter. Gap gets the trade on to Redx, still walking forward. Downpour finds a lot from Gap, but gets traded. Frothy Philly with defensive head kills. Razor's going to get more on point. Baz pops out Annihilation. And all of a sudden, an Annihilation versus 3 ults. The Downpour even hit so many of them. Somehow, someway, Dhillducks have got that fight out of nothing. No right to win that fight with the ult situation. No right at all, but such an important one because now Dhillducks, they have a nano, they have a barrage to combine with it. Gap has gone on to D.Va because they are very much scared of that nano barrage timing. Gap is going to try and walk up. Lots of damage coming his way. Going to try and clear out his Sojourn on the right-hand side. Can't commit to that one yet. Naded off a choke as well. This will slow them down even more. More time off the clock. And the more time that comes off the clock, the more this nano barrage could be the finish off of a round for Dhillducks. You see Frothy Philly, eyes in the sky, wants to drop that nano when they get the opportunity. Phone is trying to force point a little bit as they swing the choke. Eyes on the barrage, and there we go, looking for it. Backline in trouble. Suzu not in time for Winter TP. They're reset. They're trying to reset off the point. They need to reset quickly. Supports are not resetting quickly. They will die late. And this touch is going to be so hard. Sim from Phone, Tracer from Winter. Winter's blinking for it, but Redx has got the kill early. Overclock from PDK. Gap's not going to get close to point. Disruptor shot out Suzu there. They have triggered overtime, but now the Baby D.Va's running forward. Ewan's trying to get onto point. The damage was done. Good forward hold. And that fight in the middle. How on earth did Dhillducks make that work? It felt an Annihilation pushing into a Kitsune rush, pushing into a barrage. Should be a death sentence. Or at the very least, it stops for Annihilation finding any value. But Razor on the flank finds free picks during that fight on the Pharah. And gives Dhillducks a chance as we go over to Control Center for all of it. Orisa the choice for Gap, Ram the choice for Baz. Razor's going to start on Sim. Interesting to see if he starts for Sim or keeps for Sim on this map rather. No, immediate swap to Genji. Sojin on the other side. Amplify playing a slower version of the comp here. Javelin doesn't find anything on coast. Phone is going to chase out Redx as well. I think Redx was rolling out for a boop in case it was a Sojin or something up there, but can't boot the Pharah off the map. Now it's for Genji's turn to try and respond. Razor has forced Phone back. No source of healing just yet for Phone. They're coming to help her now. That's a Sojin though. No source of healing. It'll be passive regen only. That's now stopped. And just on 1 HP, Phone can't get back in. Redx and Razor will deal with that. No support on the flank. No heals coming their way. Ewan and Crazy Cat both just stuck in main. And that'll be an easy pick in the end. Concussive Implosion. Now available for Phone, of course. Fully perked up. That's going to combine quite nicely with the Javelins. A bit of a puller spear. It's kind of the best of both versions of Orisa. Trying to fight the coast a little bit more. Pharah out here now. Redx and Razor continue to try and keep this Pharah contested. Again, Phone has to be careful. This time getting a bit of support from Ewan on the flank. Topped up. Will swing now. Trying to clear it out. Razor responds to that as the Kitsune rush comes through on point. Frothy Philly doesn't quite have it yet, but Razor again deals with a Pharah threat on coast. They've lost Razor for it, but now a much later Kitsune rush for Frothy Philly as they come on point. They've conceded the flip, but they are all over this Orisa at choke. Gap nearly has the Terror Surge to turn it back. Pushes back forward. Javelin comes out for slide back. Terror Surge to try and chase. Overclock coming through. Gap is trying to line up for Terror Surge. Beat was out in response. BDK has swung. Doesn't find anything. Terror Surge out for choke as they swing the corner. So much damage, but now the Annihilation from Baz. They trade onto Gap, and Baz is plowing forward. Buying valuable space for his backline to stabilize. Finishes off Crazy Cat. Pushes for Soja. Another form timing. Pharah in main. Surely no escape. Slow connect. They get all the kills. Dhillducks remain in control of point. And the downside of a Pharah in some of these situations, normally when you see the Pharah Sojin, it's often combined with, say, like a Juno or a Juno or a Brig, Brig backline rather. And all of a sudden, the Brig's ability to pack and support the Pharah on these flanks, much more direct than the Lucio. Amplify having a hard time winning this side fight right now, and Razor and Redx have dominated it. Redx now has B for this next fight too. Eat Blade is the option. Overclock to start from Winter. Relics is going to beat back. Doesn't just catch PTK. They get the Farah kill on the side as well. Blade over the top onto the Kiri Suzu. Has been forced to just get shut down. They're still pushing forward. They'll get all the kills regardless of the Blade getting shut down. And Dhillducks are now one fight away from taking the first map. Frothy Philly has Kitsune Rush at the same pace as Crazy Cat. Phone has the Barrage, but really Phone has just had no ability to have impact in this control center so far. Need a clutch with this Barrage to keep the map alive. Coming through, Razor with a chance to deflect it, but a little bit harder when the Farah can move with that Barrage. Phone now rolling out left-hand side, not Coast. Barrage comes through early, no Suzu for it either. PTK shuts it down, Kitsune Rush trade, but player advantage for Dhillducks. They flood forward. Annihilation is getting ever closer for Baz in all of this. They might not even need it. They've got the off angle, they've got control of a point. It's just Gap left alive. He'll fall, and Dhillducks will close out the first round. This Farah needs to give me a phoner right now. It did not. I'm not saying PTK. 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 I'm softening the D, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, normally when you see a barrage like that, the Kiriko normally like TPs up to the Farah, hits the Suzu, like really all the cooldowns invested into that. And yeah, Phone had low impact. I don't know how much of it you want to blame on Phone though. I think it's just a bad retake design. Genji Lucio just marked her out of the game. There was never more support coming. Bad news. FACEIT decided to not record the scoreboard for a game between Amp and Supernova. All right, can you put it in the fantasy admin channel for me, Toby? Can you link the match page as well? I'll drop someone a message afterwards and see if I can rustle up a solution. Floppy like a disc in the early 2000s. Anyone old enough to actually have owned floppy disks? Use floppy disks to save some files. Hoping it's not just me. There we go. Thank you, Panda. Sadly, yes. There we go. Farah's not found any value in this on this map. Yeah. I mean, the Kiri Lucio is hard to support it, but I think you need your Lucio to play that side. If you're going to play that with the Farah, right? The other option is the Farah just plays a bit more from main. You don't worry as much about the coast angle with the Farah plays for, you know, the little high ground on top of control center. You just drop your Farah up there, use that as a bit of an angle. Then your Kiri can still pocket it a bit from main, stuff like this. Even if your Lucio goes up there, it's not as far away. You've heard tales of floppy disks. You're around for VHSs, not for floppy disks. Oh yeah, I remember VHSs as a kid. Having to rewind them, renting them from Blockbuster, being a good citizen, rewinding my VHSs before returning them to Blockbuster. Had a big old VHS collection. Well, my parents did. Just old enough that you've seen a box TV once as a child. What about the, what are they called? Is CRT the right word? The old big monitors. You lived across the road from a Blockbuster as a kid? It was awesome. Yeah, Blockbuster was so, it was so hype, actually. The idea of going into Blockbuster as a kid, my parents just saying, go find a movie. And you gotta... I think one thing that people of a younger generation who didn't experience Blockbuster and renting movies and stuff like that is because there was not the same level of internet access. Like now when people talk about films, there's such a huge range of stuff to pick from and you know about all these different films. And I'm sure if I talk to kids these days, they actually have a pretty big spectrum of media they know about. Like when I went to Blockbuster, oh, thank you Gravy Master 360 : I appreciate the 2 months Prime. But when I went to Blockbuster and I looked at all the kids' movies or all the movies I wanted to watch, it was like all of the movies were brand new. Essentially, right? Or like 90% of them I'd never even heard of or seen, you know? It was like a complete blank slate, and all of a sudden there was this incredible luxury of choice. You think you went once in your life? I mean, it was good. It was good. Got replaced by a Sam 99p. Ah, that's much less exciting. Toys R Us was great. Yeah, Toys R Us was a day out. And we go to Toys R Us and we just spend the day at Toys R Us. And I don't know if we'd even buy anything half the time. We just take the kids to Toys R Us to look at all the toys. Just look at the toys. Toys R Us reopened in your city recently? That's cool. Oh, Skeng tweeted? What was the Skeng cope? Can we get a little...
Start your climb to OWCS.
Same, my dad would take you to Toys R Us. Yeah, I used to go, so I had three little sisters, so we go to Toys R Us, and then I'd be straight over to the boys section. The girls would go to the girls section. Just be looking at all the action figures, all the different, they have like those packs where there's like a random figure packs essentially. And yeah, it'd be so good. Alright, let's see. Oh, thank you, Power. Let's see what Skeng's saying. What's the cope? We started the day with belief. One situation outside the game took the wind out of us and changed everything. We weren't the same after it. This one hurts. Yeah, pretty mild. Why do I have 9 notifications?
Initial flashpoint.
Oh, I got tagged in a quick esports thing. Oh wait, the map's starting. Will you pay attention, X-Mate? Sorry, guys. We've reached the NA portion of the stream where my brain begins to slow down. Predictions closed. We're on Surabasa. Amplify's choice. They have banned the Genji. Orisa has been banned in response from Dhillducks. Don't like playing the Ramattra into that. Much happier playing the Ram into the Hazard. Phone is on her trademark Sombra. She is now going to be respawning on her trademark Sombra. And that'll be a quick first fight. Maybe, maybe not. Winter's found a trade. PDK swung left side. Regroup on point. They've got the first flip. Is 4v4. Redex on the low ground needs to be a little bit careful. Speeds PTK back to the high ground. They can regroup and go again. Gonna start forcing the point here, Amplify, but Dhillducks should be able to respond. Form out slow as well. Trying to punch a little bit back, but Baz has taken a lot of damage. Slow and steady, but Razor's hunted down Phone on the outside of the map. Now player advantage, shield up, and Dhillducks will prevent the flip. Oh, the Kitsune rush from Crazy Cat is not in time to save Gap. And now Dhillducks, they should be able to win this one without committing any more ultimates. Winter does find the trade. Not enough, though. Razor will clean up, and Dhillducks looking strong for this. Can't unhear Peter K now. It actually is funny, because does anyone remember that Peter K bit where he does, like, the real lyrics to songs? Frothy Philly with late kill onto Phone. His touch is going to get even harder, and Phone is getting no space at all to play in his Sombra. That bit is actually just, is so good. I mean, Peter K is actually top-class stand-up comedian. His humour is so British. But that clip, like, if I ever get the YouTube short pop up on YouTube, I always just watch it again, because it's just always good for it. Baz has been magic picked by a Sombra. I can't explain it, I wasn't looking. I'm sorry, chat. I didn't expect it to happen. Amplify, as such, will get a little bit of space onto point D here, as Phone will hack up this health pack. Virus lands from across the map, slows them down. Winter has the overclock for this one, but Dhillducks have much more. High noon from PTK in response to this overclock. Winter's just firing shots down, damage into Baz. Overclock is going to take down Baz, actually. And the high noon gets nothing in response. PTK is going to continue to swing. I'm smiling at it every time now. Hack onto point. PTK with a punish. Looking for more, but the tank advantage, it's always going to be difficult to overturn, especially Hazard. So good if the fight gets a little bit scrappy in terms of dealing up and chasing down any sort of slightly split targets. Ewan has the beat for this next fight, as does Redex. There's even an Annihilation, but keep your eyes on Phone. Nearly at that EMP. Redex might have to start play. They probably expect the EMP already, so Redex is going to have to try and play a little bit split. Chance to try and line of sight the EMP, get the beat off. All the other option for Dhillducks sometimes a bit more easier. Just play super aggressively. Now they see the Sombra, they pops it out. They press it. Oh, Virus, EMP, Annihilation in response from Baz to weather the storm. EMP over the top. Now so much damage, and Baz gets one shot through it. Nice EMP from Phone. Redx has pushed through and got a kill on point, actually, so it's not quite over yet. Again, tank advantage, though, will do a lot, but Dhillducks don't have much choice but to commit to it. Crazy Cat uses for Kitsune Rush, wants to try and steal this one, but they need kills out of this Kitsune Rush. Razor's going to go for the Pulse Bomb, didn't even need it in the end. PTK, the bullet faster than the Pulse. They get betrayed, they can extend overtime. Razor blinks in, doesn't have recall, remember, trying to play his life. Ducking behind, has lived here, and all of a sudden, they found it. Didn't find enough value out of that Kitsune Rush from Crazy Cat. A bit premature, really. If they had a kill locked down, they press it and they chase down a particular kill, would have felt much happier about that. Instead, they use it just to try and win it, but there's no clear targets with the Kitsune Rush, so it's an easy enough kite from Dhillducks. Razor does a good job juggling the touch. And now they're right back in it. Kitsune Rush advantage for Frothy Philly. Winter nearly has the overclock to walk up with. Bone's going to cloak up into the tree, try and find an opening with this hack. Wall onto the point, but doesn't really deny all that much. Left-hand side angle for PTK as the overclock is going to become available. Kitsune Rush comes out now. Pressure onto the hazard. Gap taken a lot. Overclock's invested from both Sojans. Trying to find the shots. They're disengaging. Only PTK finds the tank. Slides onto the Sombra. Looking for it. Invisible though. The Lucio very much visible. The Sombra's visible again now. And PTK all sorts of danger. The Suzu TP from Frothy Philly isn't enough to keep him alive. Winter's found this kill, and they are bullying their way back into this. Dhillducks still have their Ramatra alive on point. Redx has come to try and respond to this angle. They force Winter back to point, but both teams are regrouping. Razor dives in. Recall has been forced. Baz stabilizes on point. Kitsune Rush now. Poor Crazy Cat. Dhillducks forced to disengage, but they need to keep this point contested, so they have to walk back up as the flip comes through. Walking straight onto that Kitsune Rush. Baz is deleted. Redx can maybe get one more touch, but such a hard fight coming back in now. Pulse Bomb doesn't connect. Razor really needed that one. Frothy Philly will find the kill. They're not quite over yet. Hazard is low. Gap separated from the heels. 2 bars of HP. Winter finds an important kill. Redx gets the trade. Ewan has the beat if they really need it. Beat comes out. They'll mirror it. Neither Lucio's going to Ajax here, but it's just a 2-person beat. Trying to get out of a boot. Gets for C9 in the end. And Winter will get the cleanup. Redx saw the clutch. Ewan had the beat to match. Denies any clutch opportunity. Amplify to close out. Point T. 1-1 Suravasa. As the dust settles, Dhillducks throwing some ults to clutch. A little bit short of everything right now. Phones, EMP. Likely going to be the opening ult. Does get revealed. Will cloak up again over the wall. Nope. Sticks to the same side as her team. Redx trying to scout this out. Aware of the danger. Dhillducks have to be paranoid. They have to be ready for this. Slash comes in. EMP to keep chasing. Virus connects. Frothy Philly finds the kill, but the Virus finishes the job. EMP is successful. They'll force for Ramatra back. And a nice clean fight for Amplify. Now will give him a first flip. A classic Phoner situation. Overclock and downpour for this next fight. Kitsune Rush for Frothy Philly for the retake. Expect the interaction to be something like Frothy Philly using the Kitsune Rush to force point. Gap using that as the opportunity to go for the downpour. Obviously, if Frothy Philly can also save for Suzu, can negate that downpour. Walking up now, Kitsune Rush out, downpour there. Suzu in response from Frothy Philly. Saves himself, but doesn't save for Hazard. The Kitsune Rush healing will keep them alive. Baz now has the Annihilation to keep going. Winter's Overclock hasn't found anything. One more rail, one more decent attempt, but they've just forced point with this, and Baz being conservative with his Annihilation will be good for Dhillducks. In the long run, Winter, though, anticipates that shot. Razor is dead. Now, wall on the choke. Annihilation still available. Baz wants to clutch as Kitsune Rush comes in, and PTK and Baz have deleted them as they come on point. They thought they had the advantage, but not if Dhillducks just pop both their ults at the same time. Absolutely obliterated on that retake, and Dhillducks continue the hold. A deficit of ults for a little bit here for both teams. Ewan's beat will be the next ult up. Razor will have a pulse bomb attempt as well, but always a bit tricky into Kiri Lucio. Have to try and work around Suzu. More of a mid-fight ult than an opening. Winter trying to get an angle for a bit of a retake here. Charge up. Phone is going to try and cloak as well. They've seen where Phone has cloaked, so they can be ready for it. PDK wins the duel there. Opening pick. Ewan has beat. They're a little bit low. They might just try and win this 4v5. Beat round the corner. 4-person push. Looking for kills. Pressure onto Baz. Dhillducks just trying to take a step back. Survive. Live right now. Razor's threatening into the back. Hack comes through onto Razor. Can they turn the kill? Recall just in time. Gets all the blinks back. Blinks back to team. They lost Redx. It was pretty close to beat. They traded it for Gap, so really big net win there. Baz has to be careful. Low on HP. Getting off angle. Run out of it. Suzu to save his life. And Razor's able to clean up a couple of these kills. Second point for Dhillducks. And they'll get the remainder of these kills too. EMP nearly available again for phone. Last one was a clean one and done. This time Redx might have a beat in time, or should have a beat in time really, to respond to it. As long as Redx can get this beat off, Dhillducks have the ults to win this. The opening is really if phone can find something early, but 11%, 10% from the EMP be a little bit annoying. Runs into the Tracer as well, just in trouble. PDK and Razor pounce that. Another punish. They got a lot of needs on first point as well, just catching phone split, trying to set up. Now a big opening. Player advantage. Pulse bomb available from Razor. Will get forced out. Blinks back to team, saves his recall. And that'll be first flip for Dhillducks for nothing at all. Now double support ult, double DPS ult very soon as well for Dhillducks. Looking for phone. Phone is there. Hack comes through and Baz is just dead. Where's the rest of Dhillducks? Where did they want to take that fight? And this is going to be a free retake unless the DPS can make some magic happen. PTK has found a pick and thinks, I'll make some magic happen. They beat on top of it as well in response to Winters. They dodge it. Double slide to get back into position as well. PTK looking for more. No kills, but when now here comes the hazard. Dhillducks try and clutch, but they might regret it. Really poor hold. Back to spawn for Winter as well. What's the swap? Cass potentially? Tracer. Alright, going all in on the dives. Just want to ruin PDK's life. Keep the finer updates coming, guys. Ooh, sorry. Profi Philly has the Kitsune Rush Crazy Cackle. What? Kitsune Rush trade is going to happen regardless. Annihilation available for Baz to layer on top of this. Slow comes through. Baz still has the Annihilation. Phone is flopping across the nation after that. Redix will go down. Annihilation still available onto the backline. Can Baz find it? Slow doesn't catch for Kiri, but Razor's there to hunt for kills, and PTK will clean all of this up. What on earth was that? EMP comes out now from Phone. They're trying to clutch it. They don't need to clutch in this fight right here, right now. They've turned to kill with it, but Gap's going to be forced out, and it is disaster after disaster for Amplify. And now Baz has the Annihilation. Dhillducks have one more fight to win to close out the map. Chase onto Phone, forces her back. Winter on Tracer getting bullied away as well. Razor really looking for that. Recalls back to point just to get into position. Probably didn't need to. Could have kept that flank going, honestly. Now the Annihilation push. They're trying to turn on the Remarcher, but no ults to respond to it from Amplify. How they wish, but Baz dies going forward. They trade onto Gap. Pulse bomb is good from Razor. 4v4, no tanks in play. No ults just yet either. Winter closes to the Pulse bomb. Fighting for Tracer on the left. They have to commit to the fight. PDK, another important pick. Dive onto the Sojourn. Winter can't find anything. Pulse bomb is now available. Amplify needs his Pulse bomb to land. It only lands onto the wall though. Redx is now marking that one out. Baz is back on the Doomfist. PDK pick after pick after pick. And Dhillducks should be taking Suravasa. Gap finds one trade, but 1v4. No hope. Oh, there's a Lucio there as well. 2v4. There's still not a lot of hope. And Dhillducks close out Suravasa. Damn. Looking rough for Amplify, and we've seen already in EMEA the two OWCS teams both drop out. Obviously, this is what the promotion relegation system's designed to do, you know, let the best teams get in. And all of a sudden, it looks like Amplify might be the third OWCS team to exit, the first one in North America. Yes, Bazo, Supernova's going to play. We got 2 more games after this. Supernova in the upper bracket. I can show you the... Am I looking? That's EMEA. This is North America. So we're right now here in the lower bracket semi-final. Next game will be Shikigami versus Supernova. If Supernova win that, they qualify for OWCS. They're back in for... well, they're in for stage 2. And then the loser of that game will play the winner of this current game for the final spot. Is Amplifier for an OWCS team? I don't watch free regions usually. Yeah, they were in OWCS. Actually, the way they originally got into OWCS is through the Swiss qualifiers, and they actually got a pretty surprising victory over Supernova. Obviously, Supernova, a little bit of revenge in that game. Looks pretty dominant. Victory overall. Bit of revenge. Supernova, I think, I can show you the rosters, but slight changes. Chime is doesn't really play. plays more Marvel Rivals now. It's Ryan and Jutsu take the DPS ones, but the Supernova team looks really odds on to qualify here. I'd be very surprised if they don't beat Shikigami. Yeah, Fluffy Dreamland from last year, if people weren't aware. Definitely expected Amplify to get relegated. Not sure about Shikigami. I expect both of them to go down, honestly. I think we're going to have the same situation in EMEA. I think Dhillducks will beat Shikigami second time of asking. Oh. Bells. I feel like individually the Amplify players are good, but their team play and ult usage is dragging them down. Yeah, I mean, like on the Lijiang Tower, I think their biggest problem more than anyone's individual performance was really some of the fight design. Or some of their theory of how they want to play with the Pharah. And then, similarly on Suravasa, I mean, I don't even know if this isn't like a bad fight design. This is just, this is individual mistakes. Bad decisions with ults. Trying to clutch when they don't need to. Throwing ults away when they really shouldn't. You make enough of those mistakes, you're just going to get blown out on a map like that. Phone taking a swim doesn't help. Inopportune times, you take a little dip. Word of the street is they're not very happy with each other nowadays. Oh, okay. Ah, the town gossip. Spinning some narratives. Did we ever check this game tweet? Yeah, we did. It was pretty underwhelming. I mean, really, it all comes down to what an unbelievable amount of damage this this in-game ban has done from IMO. Oh, hey, sexy vanilla freshness. Chicken for phone. All right. Sorry. Thanks, fish. Circuit Royale for the next map. Do we know what he did for the ban? Not specifically, but it was just like a Overwatch account ban for toxicity. But we don't know like about logs or anything. You want Supernova and Shikigami to qualify, Gavin? Okay. One thing I imagine is that teams that get relegated instantly disband. Yeah, I think maybe when I look at some of the teams, I feel like Vision might just get blown up, right? Because are they really going to pay full-time salaries for a Masters League team? I mean, maybe they're just going to keep the roster for Saudi E-League, so they might as well, and try and earn their OWCS spot back, you know, make some changes after them. So maybe they will. Maybe if anything, the org sort of keeps them... The org and the money keeps the band together, even if they make some changes. I think Amplify will probably stay together. I think Amplify, they were really a shock, absolute shock qualification in stage 1. So I think the fact that they got a stage in OWCS is kind of just like a bonus for Amplify. They got it, they didn't expect to. Fuck it. Enjoy it while it lasts, and then go back to FACEIT Masters and try and build your way back up again. You might have actually put 2k and Amplify when you met 1k. It can happen. Wait, don't pros just play on their alt accounts so they don't get disqualified for getting mass reporters? Well, yeah, that would make sense. All your accounts, yeah. Like, all your accounts have to be in good standing, but also only the accounts you tell them about. So if there's ways around it, there's ways to avoid this situation. Sakura also plays in Calling All Heroes as well. Is it like how different is the roster? Do they have like 2 different versions of the roster for it? Or is there like pretty significant overlap? The easiest way is not to be toxic. Yeah, there's actually plenty of plenty of ways to avoid it, I reckon. But you know. Alright, let's lock in a little bit now. Circuit Royale. And of course, Amplify are playing for their lives. Chicken comes in map 3 first. Appearance in the series. They need to save it for Amplify. We're on to Circuit Royale. It's going to be a Sigma mirror. Anna Lucio is an interesting combination for Dhillducks to use here on the defense. Maybe we're just a comfort hero. Baz is going to get knocked down by that rock, but has for Matrix, has for Grasp, I should call it. And we'll slow down to this next corner. Winter on the Hanzo, trying to find a few of these picks. The Shimada brothers, just trying to spam their way in on high ground. It is a Zen Juno, which is a greedy comp from Amplify, but it's Circuit Royale. If there's any way you can get away with a Zen, it's here. Dash comes into PDK, force back, and I guess if there's any way you can get away with a Zen, it's actually also not here, as Razor's going to dash in immediately. 3 kills with that. And I thought the Ana Lucio was a bit of an interesting choice, but it seems like they're doing the classic. We see it so many times in I guess modern Overwatch or recent metas, where the Lucio Genji, they work as a duo. They double up on the flank. And Red X and Razor, it wasn't really a flank, it was more just for high ground straight over the top. But they get all the kills, and Frothy Philly is going to have a nano for this next one, so it might be more of the same. An important pick from Winter's going to create some space, but if Frothy Philly gets this nano anytime soon, they can maybe just turn that one. You can see Razor doesn't want to give up the space. They know that nano is coming. Deflect has been used from Razor. Now the nano onto Razor, needs to find kills. One secured onto Chicken, who has swapped onto the May. Doesn't change their fate, though. Looking for a little bit more. Rock is going to be avoided by Razor. Just about jumps over that one. Gets the trade back, and this has bought valuable time for PDK to get back into position. They can't really push Amplify, but they can stabilize. Flux is up quicker for Baz. Gap's not far behind. Swinging the choke now. Got the last of it. Rock will come out, tries to duck underneath it, but too bloody tall. Uses the Flux afterwards. No chance for it to be cancelled. Baz doesn't have the Matrix, will die. Miscount there, wasted for Rock. No sleep to connect onto that one as well. They're going to take all the space. They are threatening Cap already. Chicken with a late pick. They're just going to have to give it up, Dhillducks. Razor can die on point. They're going to beat Blade, actually. They want to clutch. They're throwing all the ults into this. All over the Lucio. You would just even have beat Ray on point instead. Catching through. But May is going to die too for Razor. The clutch is looking good. Trying to float away his Gap. There's Genji all over him, though. Forced all the way back. Rock comes out. Baz is back in position now. An anchoring point. Beat Blade. The clutch is good. There'll be an ult disadvantage. And oh, there's going to be a player disadvantage. Razor goes one dash too far. Punished for that overextension. 1 minute 15 left on the clock, only for Amplify, but all the tools they can possibly want. Baz is going to try and Flux early, gets both of the backline there, no Rock to cancel it, but no follow-up damage on the Flux. They actually lose PDK trying to swing for that. Winter's going to drop the overclock now, and Baz is in big trouble on point. May all up in his grill. Beat from Ewan, it was one. It was a nano onto Razor, I guess, so it was just, you know, okay, yeah, it's a bit more justified with the nano. Don't want to take any risks. Can't actually afford to lose that fight there. So it doesn't feel like the highest value, but yes, let's at least get to second point. PTK now has the overclock. I hear it every time now. Rock's going to be blocked. This trade up a choke. But May is going to be a huge swing factor in this frontline fight. It's going to make Baz's life really hard in a lot of situations. Also, the Blizzard, also very hard. They get out of the choke. Ice Block has been forced, so PDK invests that one. Rock in his face, though. He'll get traded. Great Rock from Gap. Now the Blizzard on point. Freezes up Baz. They trade one kill. They get Baz in response. Now they have to deal with this Lucio Genji. There's the Lucio part of it dealt with. Walking forward. Look, Vianda's looking for a trade. Dies as well. And this payload keeps on rolling for Amplify. Ray and Flux at the choke. PDK has gone on to May too. Sacrifice for hit scam. Maybe they're going to use PDK just to try and juggle the touch a little bit. It's a very difficult touch. If they can get to Blade, they have the outside chance. But here comes the Flux. Gap has taken a lot of damage. Awfully low. Flux still goes off right over the top. Baz gets deleted by that. Use both of the ults, but it gets the job done. Again, Amplify. Using quite heavily in these final fights. But if it's to secure a checkpoint, always feels a bit more reasonable. They're going to get Gap round onto this high ground early. Try and commit to a forward hold while that cart is pushed all the way behind. It's for Genji they've left on point here, so Chicken not with the team, but they will have we'll have Winter. Close to that overclock. Winston swap from Baz, bubble behind, just trying to bully the Sigma out of position. Blade to follow up from Razor, avoids the rock, swings, dies as they go around the corner. Redex and Baz are still in as well, but Redex is going to get taken down. No hope for Baz, now low on HP, no ults, nothing like that, and it'll be another reset. And this payload has not stopped. The rock is good from PTK, onto PTK rather. Another great rock from Gap, and he has had PTK's number. Anywhere you go, Gap will be there rocking your face. Nano and Beat coming back, so the clutch is still possible for Dhillducks. And Amplify don't actually have the Beat or anything to answer yet. Profi Philly onto the high ground, Nano onto the Winston, looking for the backline. They're kind of all gone, though. So there's Nano not really getting. Does actually manage to connect onto the Sigma, but they're also low. Razor dies again. Should be able to get a couple of kills out of this. Trying to finish for Genji. Bubble just as it boot back as well, so Baz can't really chase that. They get the stabilization off that Nano, but not a full reset. Now Reddick's going to have to rely on the Beat. Baz is close to the Primal. Dhillducks, they need to be aggressive in this situation. I think if they just stand there and let the fight happen on point, Amplify, the Ray coming up, so they have everything to win it. They're going top right now. I think if I'm Dhillducks, I'm looking for a way to take this fight here. Trade him on coast, get a Primal going, make it awkward for him, make this Beat scary for Ewan. Baz looking for it. Nade comes through onto Chicken. Chicken has to dash back. This is the timing to go. Boop there. Beat push round the corner from Ewan. Reddix is going to respond. Catches everyone except for Baz. Now the Flux onto point. Catches for Winston. Baz doesn't have the Primal yet. 7% short. PTK with an important trade. And Nade and a sleep onto point from Frothy Philly. Can they follow up that kill? There's a Ray on point. Trying to pocket it through. Gap connects another rock. Razor falls. PTK with a flank. Overclock. Desperate for picks. Needs to do so much. Genji in his face. Takes care of Chicken. But needs to do so much more. Winston back on point. Baz has for Primal. Actually can stall this one out for a long time. They've lost PTK. Primal is out. Needs to be careful not to C9 as he chases for kills. But Razor can take over the touch. They're going to try and peel this Primal. Boot back in onto the Juno. Awfully low. Gets the kill in the end. Baz and back out to the team. Double jumps back just to be safe. 1 minute left on the clock. And they survive Dhillducks. That was the big scary push. Now all of a sudden, Dhillducks are actually getting very close to a Nano Blade for what will potentially be in his last fight. Slow on the choke. Winter nearly has the overclock. They're going to go top again. Dhillducks just need to buy enough time. They're going to have the Nano slightly ahead, but you can always drop that Nano onto the Genji before Blade. Let that final Nano dash charge up the rest of it. Frothy Philo with a Nano onto Baz, actually jump onto the backline. They're kiting out. The Sigma's a little bit separated. Can they find the Lucio? Not quite. Frothy Philly with the nade. PTK with one in the front. Quick reset there. Reddix will get traded by this overclock. Don't think Winter can find any more, though. Desperate for it. Just a shot into Baz. Bubble comes out, though. Amplify going on to Fast Heroes. 13 seconds left on the clock. A Tracer and a Ball. No ults to speak of. Razor has the Blade. Razor's had a pretty rough defense so far. But a chance to finish the hold. Deny the full cap. Pressure onto the Tracer. Looking for the backline. Onto the Lucio. Force back. Deflect. Forces Ewan into PTK's sights. Finishes that. Now the Blade on point. Looking to hunt it down. Just a slash onto the Sojourn. Used the dash too early there, actually. Doesn't confirm the kill. It's a bit of a nothing Blade, but they have the numbers advantage. They've killed the tank on point now. Should just be a matter of time for Dhillducks to close this out. Hold is secured. One last touch from Winter. Maybe another one from Ewan. Not quite. And they get the hold at the end of third. Okay. Not too bad. The dive swap really solved it for him in the end. Or saved him from that full cap. And now Dhillducks, a clear win condition in their mind. That's where the cart is now, and that's where they need to get it past. Chance. Interestingly enough, obviously the Sigma version of it wasn't going very well at all. It was the Winston swap that saved it, but Winston on the attack. Second point, third point, not so bad. Talk about this a lot. Like, I know we don't see it a lot, but I really feel like dive isn't that bad on Circuit Royale. Except for first point, where it's really horrendous. But if you can either just play a slightly different comp for first point and then swap onto it, like maybe what Dhillducks are doing now, right? Like maybe that's kind of what the Lucio Anna's designed to do, as we sort of maybe reverse engineer someone is thinking. Is they start on the Sigma because it's you just can't play Winston on that first point. And then as soon as they get the opportunity, they swap over to the dive on second or third. Maybe there's a version of that and that works for them. The problem is, obviously, your comp on first still has to work. You need to get to second and third to give yourself that chance.
Force beat.
Yes,
That is our play with our flux. If they do not have beat, we can win with flux easily. Either way.
Like we beat reactively off. Like our beat is our only thing off of the flux, and I'm just going to play off our off our core, not get flux, and go with plate after.
Zenyatta? No, May.
May.
Checking top room for glitch.
Duck listening.
Push car, keep pushing car.
Wall. They won.
You good, Jack? I can't get there.
I'm very good. Switch. Nice. I'm walking high. Give me time.
Sorry, you walk up. Leave our actually walk left.
I want to swing wide. 3, 2, 1. Swing wide.
Your Lucio is coast. Or your Lucio is car. Just remember this.
He said that with such confidence.
No rock, no shit.
No rock. Low shield too. That's
Don't go anywhere near PDK.
Really low. Sick really low.
It's only that guy. Okay, so
Kill the wall. Yeah, I'm careful. I just watched the. Fine. Has care. Ring. Shield.
Walking PDK. Walking coast.
Live.
No wall.
Live.
And a ring.
Reloading.
Really wide. I'm taking my.
I'm made. You guys ready?
A lot of the left room. We need to do something soon, actually. I can answer it. 6, 1. I can't kill him. 3, 2, 1. No ice, no rock.
Reloading.
Almost a nano Enso. Dan have no wall.
Nano sigil. Okay. Pressure sake.
Nobody left room.
Yeah, I have.
3, 2, 1. Hit me. Amp you. Take purple. 6.
I'll be sick.
Back up the room.
Helping. Hey, no ice. Throw it to the back. No ice on me, by the way.
One on point.
Is it cover sake? I think it's okay.
Nice block in there. Nice. Just sick.
Holy fuck, I win so much. No, it's okay. You went for a
It's alright, BZK, mate. Did enough. You got it over the line. The Peter K booster enough. Get that guy a special right now. Now, Ray available for Crazy Cat. Lots of ops coming up for Amplify for this retake. Really enjoyed as well. I think it was Redix who said with such confidence, I am Coast. Car. Rock comes out as this Ray push comes in, connects onto Crazy Cat actually, but doesn't save Baz's life. Still goes down, but Ray simply too powerful. Sigma, tough time disengaging that, and Amplify do get the stabilize. They reset at the choke. Now they've got this high ground control. And Dhillducks have to do the difficult retake. Could be a beat blade play. The problem they have is this transcendence. So Dhillducks need a bit of a smarter answer here. They talked about using flux to force beat in the warm-up when we're in the comms. Flux now hopefully comes out from gap. So I wonder if Dhillducks, they get a pick out and out, so they will get another reset and they have to go again. But I wonder if Dhillducks are going to do the same thing. They actually start this fight with flux to try and force the transcendence. They force for transcendence, and now the beat blade is open for them. Yeah, I like this version of the olds. They have to worry about the overclock for Blizzard still. The overclock comes through now. Redix drops it. Razor does give it in the end. Zen is going to be punished for this. Yeah, really nice. Like this from Dhillducks. Clean blade from Razor. Winter with a late kill. But Razor and Redix get all 5. And yeah, really like that setup. They talked about doing it versus B. Obviously, same thing is applicable versus Transcendence. Any kind of defensive support ult and B and Transcendence. Really both fall into that. Retake coming through now from Amplify. They still have the Blizzard, so even though Dhillducks had a very good fight there, it was expensive. Defensive nade just to try and help Baz live. Baz trying to get out of that Blizzard. Have they all gotten out? Baz, I think, was out of the Blizzard, but still slowed and killed. So the Blizzard wins the fight, even if it doesn't directly quite catch anyone. Go deal with the Sojourn behind. Chicken with a finishing shot. Okay, Chicken. Chill out, will ya? Redix reset as well. Now Dhillducks coming back, and Nano overclock again. Last time they were hitting this combo, it secured them first point. Baz onto the Winston. So actually, yeah, Dhillducks, I'm starting to. I feel like I'm getting into that sort of duck mentality, you know? I feel like I'm getting inside their brains. I'm seeing their decisions. I'm seeing their logic. And I'm liking what I see. Winston swap right now. Baz is 1 HP. Does he need for Nano? No, they Nano overclock instead. It's all into PTK. Was upset with some of his whiffs last time. Body shots onto everyone. Headshots gets 2. 2 kills isn't enough. It might be with Baz going forward. The cart still has a decent amount to go. A late kill here would go a long way as Baz avoids that rock, but not enough support. They're just going to play to force the objective here. But Amplify Chicken with the Genji swap to help come back. They nearly have Flux. They nearly have Ray. Crazy Cat can drop this one immediately. He will be a disengage from Dhillducks trying to get out of there. Rock is avoided. Defensive nade onto Baz as well. They are pushing forward hard for this, for Flux to chase him. Looking for it. Changes his mind. Changes his mind several times. Looking for it. Tries to catch Vasojin. Does catch Vasojin. Attempted bubble from Baz isn't enough. Rock goes wide, but gets the Flux in the end. Gap running the calculations. Every possible decision available. Finds it. 1 minute 20 seconds left on the clock for the Ducks. Low on ultimates. Anna dies late too. They need to wait for their next bank of ultimates. It will be Beat Blade available. The race here is if Ewan gets the Blade. Or sorry, if Ewan gets the Beat, that can be the counter to Razor's Blade. And they're forced to maybe take the trade slightly differently. Like maybe Beat trade, then Razor Blades a little bit later. Baz trying to take a little bit of space. Up to 74%. Primal coming up. Rock round the corner. Gap's just going to get one shot. Disaster Beat. They want to keep pushing. They want no one to trade to this overclock, but Winter is flooding forward, looking for Frothy Philly. Frothy Philly trying to give him the moves. Winter doesn't fall for it, though. She confirms the kill. Doesn't quite get the second. The payload's moving, though. I don't think it would have made a difference. Gap has gone Reinhardt optimistically here. I presume, yeah, Gap back to Sigma now. The desperation Rhine swap. Who does he think he is? Haddy? And now Dhillducks get the time extension. 2 minutes on the clock. They've got Nano, they've got Blade. I'd be interested to see Dhillducks here actually maybe start the fight in a slightly different way. Maybe even use the Primal first. They're only 10% away. Try and force that beat out of Ewan and set up a clean finish. Oh, Frothy Philly's going to die. No chance of Nano Blade. Now the beat forces for Blade. Baz is going to have the Primal to keep going. We'll try and jump out. They've lost 2. They're just going to take the reset. Trade Blade for beat. Now they set up this next fight. Both their Nano and their Primal to walk with. Gap is trying to hold forward. Amplify wants to try and get multiple fights out of this. So even if they die to the Nano, they die to the Primal. It works out. Rock doesn't connect. Razor dashes through. Redix dies though. Baz still hasn't invested it. Baz is going to pull the Primal now. Blade from Chicken all over Razor seals that one. Baz really could do with a trade out of this, but it's Baz versus the world. Can't find anything. Can't. Maybe boots for Sigma in. Sigma has slept. Baz gets out for what it's worth. But now a Ray versus this Nano and Dhillducks. They tried to not commit to that. They tried to like take space. They took so much damage taking space. They couldn't actually follow up at all. Only Baz could with his Primal. Everyone else was on the run. Ray's going to come out. Frothy Philo with a defense. I don't think that was intended. Onto the Lucio. The Bucio's going to try and get it working versus the Ray. Trying to fight this Sigma. Baz is in deep. PDK has pulled the overclock. PDK has saved the day. Redix will get a little bit more of that beat charge up. Dive in to look for a trade. Winter connects that one. PTK will fall. Bucio versus a Ray. Maybe not the trade they wanted. Frothy Philly onto the Kiri now. Gap is going to have the Flux for this. Redix has the beat to match it. Should allow them all to survive, but the problem is there's still this overclock. There's be so much damage into them. They still need to try and avoid the Flux. Even though they have the beat as the insurance policy, they still don't want a lot of people in this Flux. Last fight, remember, they didn't finish the map here, so it's a winner-takes-all fight. Redix now going for the beat push. It's a scary one all over the Bastion. Boop in onto the Bastion. Defensive Flux comes through. Does he find anyone? He finds Baz. Baz is going to get deleted. PTK and Razor have still found kills. They're forcible point. Gap is in all sorts of trouble on point. Matrix comes out. They killed everyone around Gap. Now 5v1. Dhillducks do it. They relegate Amplify. Unbelievable. I thought Gap had done it, you know. That Flux gets the kill onto the Winston. But then Razor and PDK hit him on the flanks, convert the kills, and before you know it, it is all over. Dhillducks give themselves a chance. They continue through the lower bracket. That beat was so greedy. What, you mean the Redix one around the corner? Fuck yeah. I don't know why he didn't just like cast it at the door. Like casting it halfway out like that is just, it is asking for disaster, but if you get away with it, you get away with it. And during all of that, while the Flux caught the Winston, but people who weren't caught in the Flux doing all sorts of damage to Amplify. And Amplify's run in OWCS is over. You do it for the aura. You did it for the thrill. right, now it's a really... I mean, it was one they had to absolutely scrap for. I do really like the approach from Dhillducks, though. In terms of a compositional swap and everything like that. Oh, slow motion replay of that rock. It's a nice one from PDK. Would have had for... Oh, sorry, from Gap onto PDK. No more phoner jokes? No. We've lost our phoners. Yeah, it's 100% it was meant to be a nano overclock, wasn't it? Classic Lucio Anna moment. Why is my Lucio in front of me? Yeah, we lose phoner jokes in North America, but we have gained Willies in EMEA. Lucio better anyways. Somebody plays Lucio, don't they? Do you think nano overclock is good? Yeah, I think it's a really powerful combo. It's like, you know, you use it in like a... But whenever you use these combos, I think the same applies to Nano Blade, the same applies to Nano Overclock or anything like that, Nano Primal, is you want to use them in key fights. I feel like if you ever use these Nano Blade, and it happened to them a couple of times, where they use some of these ults not to close out a point. Like, I think if you're using it to cap second or to cap third or full cap or whatever, obviously full cap, like, the obvious choice. But if you're using it to secure an objective, I can really get behind it. But I think on defense on a lot of these hybrid escort maps, it's really not worth it. It's like, there are some situations where I'd say it's okay. So, like, let's say they have rally. Because in most fights, you're pretty happy to, you know, you use 2 ults, they use 1 ult, right? You sort of just 1-up-and, right? It's a version of layering. Sometimes the combo is actually better at beating it than the layering. So let's say one you might come into quite often is they have rally and you have nano blade, right? All of a sudden, if you just nano, the rally probably lives it. If you just blade, the nano probably lives it. And it's a little bit awkward to just like blade, force for rally and guess out and then nano. Actually, just nano blading, you get the 2v1 trade anyway, and you get more chance to get killed. Stuff like that, like a reasonable enough ult trade. Yeah, no idea. I'll be on for all of it. So, the combos are situational. I think a lot of the time, teams just sort of use it as like, they have the combo, press the button. So I can agree with the sentiment that it's really like time and a place. But I think there's enough situations where it seems reasonable as well. So it's like a classic Overwatch, right? It's not black, it's white. It's always situational. But yeah, invariably, if you're just, every time you have nano and clock, you're just pressing both buttons and you're not thinking about it, you're not factoring anything else in, your chances are you're just sort of gambling with when it's good or not. Ults are bad in general, just only really use cooldowns. Cap theory, they call that. The trick is as well, get all your players to stand in one location, so when they use their cooldowns, you can all use your cooldowns together. Sometimes at the back of a map as well, because sometimes holding close is overrated. It's nice to get more of a panoramic view when you hold a point sometimes. All right, where are we going next? Obviously, yes. So as you know, I mean, it's obviously always feels a bit bad. Team gets relegated, all of this, but I think Amplify, like they had their run. I don't think even the player. I'm sure if you would ask the Amplify players themselves, I don't know how much they really expected to be an OWCS stage 1 going into it. They had their stage. They had their period of always getting their one map. So I think a nice little cameo from Amplify. And now we're guaranteed at least one new team in OWCS North America as well. We're going to get Shikigami Supernova next, and that one will determine that. I should probably get a... Oh, what just happened? Did I just close that? Did I mean to do that? The answer is no. Stream ended, it says. That's not true, though, is it? There we go. What do you mean, oh, damn? Grow up. Grow up. What was I doing? Oh yeah, cutting the VOD, wasn't I? I was cutting the VOD.